it's really strong, maybe you can pull it in 24 hours, but you have to give it some time. We would try to at least give it 2 days for it to go up in there. The other problem with this is that, so in this yard, right there. So over there, looks a little like a hive is a stack of supers. So we had to come and we had to pull the supers off and put that on. In part because they weren't strong enough. If you had a real strong hive, you could do that, suck up above a super, right? So the queen excluder's already on. Take the super off, get your brood, and then put that above the super. So you wouldn't have. But we're like right in that transition thing where we had just put supers out. They're not going to come up to an empty super to that brood. So you kind of have to judge that strength of the hive and the time of year as to how convenient this sort of setup is. So, and somebody said, like, I don't know, do I like this method better than this mini nukes? And I'll talk about this in a minute. And I think, I don't know, was it Sue that mentioned it this morning? These nukes are far more stable than the mini nukes, especially, so I'll pass these around, but these are what some people call bird houses. These are like the really small nukes like Kona, and that those guys use. You can pass this around, but it's got, you know, a little feeder for syrup in there. And little frames that you can see this hasn't been used, but these are the little mini frames. You know, but these are very susceptible to ants, for example. Even here in Washington, I know in central Washington, the guy that uses these. So like I said, this hive isn't strong enough, but it's like, you should be able to see bees kind of boiling out of it. That's why it doesn't have the setup on it.
Scared me. Just startled me.
Part of this is the marking of queens, so hopefully they show you how to pick them up. You know, the most important thing is just to never touch the abdomen. The abdomen is soft. That's where all the baby making parts are. That's the most important part of the queen. The thorax is full of muscles, right? And then for those muscles to attach, it has to have very thick cuticle. So the thorax is very tough. I mean, you guys have probably accidentally pinched a bee between your fingers before, and it's crunchy and tough, right? So whenever I'm holding her, I'm holding the thorax. And a lot of people like to make sure the abdomen's supported, and so you can pass between your fingers to get her aligned right. So if you pick her up like this, then you can transfer like this so the thorax is covered, and then you can paint the thorax. Cage the queen. And it's good to have this kind of stuff with you. Some people prefer to do this all the time whenever they're working at hive, is to cage the queen and put her in your chest pocket, put her in your pocket. That way you don't actually accidentally crush her when you're shaking or putting the hive back together or whatever you're doing. She's safe. Then when you're done, the last thing you do is just release the queen back in the hive. So this isn't a great example, but there's some open brood here that they're actively feeding. And so like I said, normally I just happen to see the queen, so fine, I cage her. But normally you just, first brood frame you find, you just shake that. So then there's, you know, no drones on there, no bees of any kind. You throw in the empty frame from there, put the brood in there. So then that one's ready to go. So that one, there just wasn't much young brood on it, so it's not going to be real attractive to like the nurse bees to come up in it, right? So this one I see a lot more jelly in. You know what's best for you. And then I do, and it probably doesn't matter a whole lot, but I like to put the feeder to the outside, just so it puts that frame more to the center.
So that feeder's in there just to take up space.
It's to take up space, and we use the feeders, especially in our nukes when we're building them, so that way we don't have to put them in later, and we don't have to, so that way it's just ready to go. So the other way you could do this, this method would be to just use 10 frame equipment, and you could put as many open brood frames as you want above that thing, and then come in here and just pull off a 10 frame box full of open brood and nurse bees that is it's all queenless. Take it back to wherever you're building nukes, and then just break that thing down into nukes at that location. But this way is nice because they're completed. When you tip it off, you put a lid on, and you're done. Then you put the cell in out in the yard or wherever you're taking them.
And you invert it just because the bottom board's attached?
Yep. Right. Yeah. So that I know some people, if you have like these spring clips on here, these are really another. I think there's a commercial product called Aussie Hive clips that they use these for to attach bottom boards. So what you could do is have detachable bottom boards and put it on upright without the bottom board, right? And then, but ours are stapled on, so we don't have that choice. But if the bottom boards on your nukes come off real easy, then just put them on right strap. Because I have seen leave them on for 3 or 4 days, and they were building. When we pulled the frames out, there was upside down play cups, like they had drawn wax, upside down. But the brood, the brood and all that's fine. So that's a suck up. Okay, so then the other,